Brass and metal. That's what this video is about. What sold on eBay for brass and metal. If you're new to the channel, I'm Vicki, and my husband Mark and I resell on eBay. A few things on Poshmark, a few things on Mercari, but mostly on eBay. Been reselling for 21 years now. And this video is about what sold, and throughout most of the video, I still had some video clips of how I packed it. So it's a pretty good combination of what sold and how I packed it in this one. And I'm going to share with you throughout the video on some of the items that sold, whether I would buy them again to resell. Well, some of them I may never come across again for sure, because I have some really unusual items in this video. But a few of them I'm sure I'll come across again. And yes, I'm going to let you know if I would buy them again to resell or not, and why. Let's get started. This is definitely something odd to buy, but it's so cool. He sits like that, that's right. And this guy playing a horn. There's no signature on this. Well, it says made in South Africa. It says we bought these at our restore for $10. They sold on offer for $50 plus ship. And they are so cool. Sorry about all the mess in the background. It's hard to show these to you. I'm hoping they fit in a 16 by 12 by 8 box. That's what I hope for. And I don't know what's going on with my voice right now. It's very hoarse. This is the only size box that I can possibly try, and I might have to put the tall guy on the diagonal. Well, let's just do a test fit on that. That's what I'm thinking. Ooh, boy. Boy, oh boy. I don't know. We'll see. He's just going to make it. I'm kind of scared. There's not a lot of room for padding. Oh my gosh, what have I done? I put some air pillows in the bottom. I'm not sure if it's too much. And then I layered some bubble wrap because I feel like I need to keep them raised up a little bit from the bottom of the box. However, I don't have a lot of clearance. This foot just makes it. In fact, it's not making it. It's hitting. Oh, goodness sakes. I might need to remove a little padding right here. This is what I've done so far. I had to loosen up some of the bubble wrap, and I had to put extra cardboard where his head is hitting, where the horn is hitting, and where his foot is touching. So now I just have to figure out how I'm going to get the other one in here. I think I'm going to have to turn it upside down, maybe like this, but with some padding and protection between it. I added some bubble wrap under here. I can see I probably need some between the legs here too. I've got some scrap pieces here. I put some more bubble wrap between here. I'm going to layer some on top before I put this guy on here. But he also could use some support, extra support. It's hard to show you what I'm doing. I'm just tucking bubble wrap in here and there. I've got air pillows here and there. Anything I can do to add support. I'm just going to keep filling in with air pillows and whatever I need to fill this box full and make sure it's make sure the box is not going to compress on it. So that's what I'm doing. Air pillows, bubble wrap, paper, whatever it takes. I'm ready for the last bit of bubble wrap. Might have to cut it to fit, and then I'll tape it up. Would I buy these two sculptures again? Maybe if they were smaller. A little challenging to fit them in my largest box that would qualify for under 12 by 12 by 12, because as you know, if it's over that size, there's a surcharge. So for me, my largest box is 16 by 12 by 8, and they just made it. So, so I lucked out there, but probably not. I probably wouldn't buy them again, even if I saw them, because I can't be sure that they're made no larger than the ones that sold. Yeah, could be hard to find a box, and I don't want any surcharges. Let's move on to the next item. Sold a small business card holder. It's a fishing boat made from pewter. It says Metzke pewter on the bottom. Not sure what we paid for it, probably $1. Sold on sale for $26.95 plus ship. I'll wrap it in some bubble wrap and mail it in a small eBay box. Would I buy a pewter business card holder again? Absolutely, if it has a nice little theme to it or a brand to it. I'm not so sure that I would buy a generic one, but yes, I would buy this again. It was nice and small to pack. Gotta love that. Let's move on to the next sale. This was a very odd purchase for us, but we found these at the AMVET store. It's a surface burner grate. Color is black. We had to open it to photograph it. It's a 2-count lot of black round cast iron. That's the keywords, cast iron stovetop burner grate. Paid $2.50 for these two. We have 2 more that are brown. And can you believe it? They sold for the full asking price of $89.95 plus ship. Paid $111. Woohoo! That was pretty exciting. You know, I looked up the sold comps before we bought it, and yes, they have value. I just need to put this in another box because they're just sitting right inside here. Pretty certain I can fit these in a 10 by 8 by 6 box. I have some small bubble wrap, and I'm going to put some cardboard on each end because, you know, this is somewhat exposed, and then I'm going to tape the cardboard in place, and I'll do that for both ends. Okay, then I added some packing peanuts, about 2 inches of packing peanuts. Oh, that's great. That is great. Add my thank you label, and I'll just finish off with more packing peanuts. Looks good. I'll get it folded up and taped up and in the mail. So on this item, I missed saving the screenshot of the sale, so sorry about that. Sometimes I think I saved it and I didn't. But anyway, would I buy these burner grates again? If they're new, only if they're new old stock, new in box. I never would buy them if they were used because personally we don't want to clean it up. Just not worth it. It will always have more value if they're new. So yes, I would buy these again, even if they are heavy. I mean, the buyer's paying the shipping, right? And they fit in most any standard size box or flat rate. Sold a lot of metal leaves, brass leaves, made by Home Interior. It's a 7-count lot of vintage oak leaves, and I have $2.98 into them. Bought them at AMVET's. Homeco, Home Interior, birds, leaves, and they sold for full asking price of $29.95 plus ship. I'm going to mail them in a box that's 8 by 8 by 6. I have 2 air pillows in the bottom. I'm going to line the box with 2 squares of small bubble wrap one direction and 2 squares the opposite direction. And then I'm using a bag, and I'll just open up this bag and place each one in here one at a time. And then a small piece of tissue paper in between each one so they don't scratch. Looking good. Now I'll just put a little twist tie and close this up. The leaves are packed well and they'll be on their way. Homeco metal, brass, wall decor. Plus they make the Sirocco butterflies and all kinds of things that you can hang on your wall. I picked up quite a few that day at the AMVET store. I've sold a few and I have a few left. And the question is, would I buy them again? Well, I have seen them again at some church rummage sales, and I decided to pass. A lot of times they're very scratched up. You know, people stack them together and put them in a box to store them, and they get scratched. So be very careful about the condition of them, and make sure the back of them have all the brackets or rings to hang them up, because you don't want those missing. But would I buy them again? Nah, probably not. After this sale, there will no longer be an elephant in the room. This elephant is new with tag, made in India, brass and marble. The tag doesn't really have anything on it. We bought it at Hope Thrift and we did pay up. We paid $10 for it. And of course, what's important is the trunk is up. The trunk up is for good luck. You don't want to buy elephants where the trunk is down for resale, because the trunk up sells much better. It was on sale. Forget what the original price was, but it sold for $118.96. Got $15 for shipping, came to $143 with tax, and it's going from Tennessee to Mississippi. It's very heavy because of the brass and the marble. I estimated 8 pounds for shipping. I had so much thought going into this that I forgot to video. Basically, I have cardboard on the bottom, piece of cardboard supporting it. And then I just have bubble wrap underneath, bubble wrap on top, air pillows. I stretch wrapped it. I know it needs some protection here, but I will finish that out. And I have a box that's 16, 12, 8. And I think I'm going to have to use packing peanuts because air pillows and bubble wrap will not hold this much weight. I am going to give it more bubble wrap this direction so it gives some protection to the base. So I'll get that taped up. It's time for the packing peanuts. Packing peanuts didn't work because of the trunk. The trunk is too high. So I need to line the bottom with bubble wrap. Bubble wrap in the bottom, packing peanuts all around. You can see that the trunk is still exposed. So I'm going to cut a piece of cardboard to go across the top. I think that should do it. Now let's go see how much it weighs. 7.55. It's under 8 pounds. But I can tell you this, it's top heavy. It's heavier where the marble is. And so it's going to be awkward for handling. The elephant in the room. For a long time it sat back here. You might have seen it in some of my videos. And then I moved it over on a shelf. Would I buy it again? It did have the original tag, so it had that going for it. It was also very heavy and a little bit strange to pack, but I figured it out. Would I buy it again? Yeah, I think so. But I would always recheck eBay active versus sold comps. You know, there has to be a good sell-through rate, like 100 active, 50 sold. That's a 50% sell-through rate, so that's pretty good. So it does depend upon that. It depends on the condition, and I think it would be rare that I'd find another elephant that had the original tag still attached. So it's between a maybe and a yes. Just depends. So this pretty little silver-plated heart-shaped trinket box, it's not hinged, it's just a lid, no hinge. Blue velvet lining. Yeah, it's a little dirty in there, but maybe I'll give it a little swish with the lint roller. Got it at our restore for $3 and it sold for full asking price at $24.95 plus ship. You have to be so careful with lint rollers and blue velvet. Yes, it took off a little bit, but I got some of the dust out of there. Well, some of it. And the bottom, I thought I did the bottom too, but you know, it is what it is. Probably showed up in the photos too. I wrap the bottom in tissue paper. I'll do the same for the top. The lid is in tissue paper. Next I'll wrap it with some small bubble wrap because it conforms well to the shape. And then next I'll wrap it in small bubble wrap. The heart lid, and now I'll wrap the base in small bubble wrap. I've lined the bottom of a small box with bubble wrap. I'll add another square. I don't know if I can put this in here with the lid on top or if I have to put it to the side. I think I have to put it to the side. I had it built up too high, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap each one in large 1/2-inch bubble wrap and then fit this down in the box instead of lining the bottom. Plan B, I have to go to a 12 by 6 by 6 for the heart trinket dish. For air pillows in the bottom, I'll set these on top, surround it with some paper, and then top off with 4 air pillows. Surrounded with paper, topped off with 4 air pillows. It's good. The little heart trinket box. Would I buy that again? I have seen a few since I bought this one, and it was listed for quite a while, and it sold for $24.95. However, there are quite a few trinket boxes out there, and so to be honest, no, I'm not picking them up anymore. Sorry. I really think $24.95 was pure luck, and typically they'd be selling anywhere from 10 to 15. Sold a copper plate, not that one, but this one way in the back. Oops, I'm going to have to put my camera down while I get that plate out. This copper plate is really beautiful. I've had it listed for a very long time, since 21, but it's gorgeous. It's not in perfect condition. It's got some waviness along the rim. And I don't remember what I paid for it, but it sold on sale for $20.97 plus ship. I'm placing some foam wrap on the bottom and the top, and I'll fold up the corners and tape this before I go on to some bubble wrap. It may not look pretty, but it's protecting the finish. I've cross-laid 2 sheets of large half-inch bubble wrap each direction. I'll just fold this up, fold the ends in, and tape it up. This box was designed to ship flat items like records, maybe a calendar. It does have scoring so that I can make it whatever height I want. It just kind of leaves the corners exposed. But I'm going to see if I can make this work. I cut a couple of strips of cardboard because I need to protect these corners, even though the plate doesn't start till here, but I need to put something to protect these corners. When I fold this up, there's going to be some exposure here on the corner. So I'm going to put a piece of cardboard here, and I think I'm going to tape those on. I taped on the cardboard and I taped it on so that it won't move. And now I'm going to figure out what height I need here to fold this up. I guess if I measure the height, we're looking at about 2 inches. It's in between. I guess I can go to the last one and hope it covers. I don't know if it's going to cover all the way across. That's what I'm concerned about. It does. If I go up the full 2 inches, it does cover all the way across, but I could add some more bubble wrap on top. I added more bubble wrap on the bottom and another sheet on top, and then I'll fold this up. I'll fold all the sides up, and I think it'll be fine. This is what it looks like so far, and so that I can free up my hand to do the second flap, I'm going to go ahead and tape this right here. This box worked out great for that copper plate. Really, truly did. It's 12.5 by 12.5. I don't even know if eBay still sells these anymore. I got these with my quarterly coupon. I don't even know if they're still available. I know they were very pricey, but I don't use them very often. Wall decor. Round metal trays and or wall decor. Would I buy something like this again? Well, we have a copper tray over here on our shelf, and I think it's larger than the one that's sold. The challenge is packing it. Not that it's hard to pack, but you need a square box, pretty much, square box. And most of my boxes go up to 12 by 12 at the most. I can always cut down the height. So box size is an issue, and I hate destroying large boxes for a small item, that's not very high. So would I buy it again? Well, I'm going to be open and honest, as I always am in my videos, and I'm going to say, no, I wouldn't buy it again. Just saying. Sold 2 corbels. This is one of the heavier and most unusual things that I've purchased to resell. I couldn't pass them up. I mean, the birds are just gorgeous, and they're 2-sided. I guess they should be. Heavy, for sure. I bought these at our restore. These corbels are pretty with the birds, but I don't know how much they are. I'll have to go ask. So I bought the 2 corbels. They were $16 for the pair, 30% off, so what, $12 and some change. And I think I'm going to get quite a bit out of them. Paid $11.20 for these 2 ornate corbel bird design heavy cast iron shelf brackets. They sold for full asking price of $89.95 plus ship. $29 going to California. I think it's important to take a few minutes here and talk about when you want to reuse a box that's already been through the mail system or UPS or FedEx or wherever. Yeah, we get Amazon orders once in a while and we save our boxes. And I upcycled one, and I have to tell you, well, I'll just kind of show you, because there's a lot of things you need to know about reusing a box. The number one thing is that they've already been through the system. They've already been on the conveyor belts and from truck to truck and tossed at your door. They've been through a lot. So when I do reuse a box, I typically reinforce them somehow. But let's take a look as I share with you what I did to reuse or upcycle this Amazon box, because I didn't want my buyer to think they were getting something from Amazon. They see Amazon on the box and they're like, I didn't order anything from Amazon. Did you order anything from Amazon? No, I didn't. Did you? No. When we're selling something on eBay, We try very hard not to use an Amazon box. Same thing if I'm selling something on Poshmark. Well, Poshmark's kind of easy because we can use any priority mailbox. So that's what I like about Poshmark. Plus, it goes up to 5 pounds. So I put my heavier stuff over there. Hint, hint. That's a tip. Put your things under 5 pounds when packaged over on Poshmark. Why not? Because the buyer has to pay up to 5 pounds, whether it weighs 1 pound or over 4 pounds. Okay, let's take a look at this. I found this Amazon box in my stash. I think I'm going to upcycle it. It's going to be great because it's not very deep. I am going to cut it open and completely reverse the box so all of these, so the labels and tape isn't showing. I've got all the flaps open. To reverse it, I just need to peel open this flap where it's glued. And that's actually very easy to do. Yeah, that's why I always tape the flaps. Here's what the box looks like. Now I'll just turn it inside out. Turn it the other way. First thing I do is tape the flaps back together. I need 2 hands for this. I'll tape it a few times on the outside and the inside. It's really important to tape the inside too, and if you can, add glue. I just don't have any handy right now. I haven't taped it yet, but you can see that I have it turned to the inside. I'm not going to worry about the tape here on the inside. Let's cut off this tape right here at the flap, but I'm not going to worry about any of this other tape. I'll just get this taped up. I already have the flaps folded in on the bottom, so I'll tape that, and I'll fold these in so that I can flip it over. I am concerned about the stability of the box, so I'm going to reinforce it. Got some scrap cardboard here. Make sure my flaps are going to close. I could also reinforce it the other direction. I mean, I have plenty of weight estimated for the shipping. Like I said, I could put a piece that way too. Let's see here. I went ahead and crisscrossed some scrap cardboard to reinforce the box because these are heavy. Okay, if it wasn't heavy, I wouldn't be doing this. And metal or not, they still could break, okay? At the soldering and stuff, they could break. So after cutting off the Amazon tape, I discovered that even if I push this together as hard as I can, Amazon boxes don't seal completely, but I will have tape over that. To make this easier to tape down through the center, I put a piece of tape here, 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 and here. Now I'll tape it down through the center. Because I'm recycling this box, I give it plenty of tape on the bottom, 2 pieces down through here, and I taped each corner. As you can see, you know, when it's been through the mail once already, it starts to compress a little bit. But I think I've got it taped pretty good, and I cleaned up the flaps on the top side now. Yes, you can see the Amazon inside, as I said, but I don't care. You know, I guess I could pull that off. But that one's glued pretty good. Now I'm going to line it with large 1/2-inch bubble wrap. Because I have the extra weight built into my estimate, and because the box is being recycled, I'm going to add a little extra cardboard here to support this. I guess I could just cut a piece on the diagonal. That might help. But I've got a little mark here, and I might go ahead and just draw a line here. As I said, I drew a line. And then I cut out a triangle, and I'm going to make 2 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this over to the other side and cut a second one. And I save all my cardboard, never know when I need it. So I've got 2 of these cut now. Just wrap it in some large bubble wrap, get this taped up. Since the cardboard is on the bottom, I'll take this extra flap and tape it to the top. One down, I'll repeat the process for the other one. I meant to show you in the first one, I got a little bit long on here, so I'm just nipping off these points here on the cardboard so they don't poke through the bubble wrap. I'll tape it up like I did this one. I have bubble wrap crisscrossed in here, folded it over. I was able to fit air pillows around the perimeter. I will add some more bubble wrap on top. Well, let's fold this in, then add some more bubble wrap on top. Just spread it out a little bit. And then a piece of scrap cardboard. Before I tape it up, let's go weigh it and see what we have. I have it on our scale out in the garage here. Sample piece of paper for the label, 6.55. USPS will charge for 7 pounds. What did I estimate? 8 pounds. And that extra pound of shipping that I collected will help pay for my time and packing materials. I only temporarily taped it, so I'm going to go back and finish the tape. We're good. We sold a 10-count lot of fish molds. Found them at a church sale. They are metal candy molds, 5x2 by 5/8, chocolate jello, soap, etc. Bought them at a church sale for 50 cents and sold them on sale for $15.96 plus ship. The fish are easy to pack. I will back them with cardboard to make sure they don't bend. Wrap in large 1/2-inch bubble wrap and mail them in a padded envelope with 1 air pillow, maybe 2 air pillows. We'll see. I think I have to put it in this way, so 1 air pillow to the side. Would I buy small aluminum molds, like these little fish molds, to resell? Ask Mark that question, only he's not here right now. He's out running errands. For some reason, I love to buy these cute little jello molds and fish molds in this case. Yeah, I really like buying these cute little things. Sometimes I think I'm going to craft with them, but I never do. I never get it done. But if the price is right, if eBay isn't flooded with them, and I'm willing to wait a little bit, yeah, I'd buy them again. They don't take up a whole lot of room. They're easy to pack and ship, but do check your eBay active versus sold comps and always sort from highest to lowest and lowest to highest. Check both. Don't just check highest when you look at solds. Check the lowest that they sold for and check the lowest that they are listed for so that you know what price you'd have to go under to try to get it sold fast. Always do your research. Oh, Mark would say, if he were me, definite maybe, meaning I might buy them again to resell. It took a really, really, really long time for this doorstop to sell. Oh my gosh, it took forever. And it's missing a lot of paint and it's heavy, and I taped this plate around the bottom so it wouldn't scuff my shelf. I don't know what I paid, but I'm guessing a couple of dollars. Listed it in October of 20, so a very, very long time. Finally sold on sale for $31.96 plus ship. And it's heavy. It weighs almost 3 pounds without a box. And they chose Ground Advantage, but I wonder if it would be cheaper to put it in a flat rate priority box. This is a little tricky because it is so heavy. I've got this box I could recycle, but I can see that it's already weighing it down. I almost would need to surround it with some cardboard and then put it in this box. Kind of like double box it without really double boxing it. What am I going to do? I grabbed some assorted scrap pieces of cardboard and see if I can package it with some cardboard around it first. Bubble wrap, cardboard, and then put it in this other box. I wrapped it in bubble wrap. I've marked off some cardboard. I've remeasured it a couple of times. I'm going to cut this out and then cut 2 pieces of it. One cut. Now I'll just cut another one. I'll just mark this off and cut another one. I'm using my ruler and my utility knife. I'm just going to cut another piece. This cardboard is just meant to stabilize it, to keep it from flexing. And I'll sandwich this together before I put it in here. Is it going to fit? It's still going to fit if I don't get any higher on it. Wow, it's close, really close. I decided to stretch wrap it together, but it does have different levels. But the height does vary. It's higher over here than there. Let's see if it's even going to fit in here now. I'm not even sure. Well, it's too high that way. Bummer. Measure twice, cut once. Yeah, I got a little large on the cardboard around it. That extra 1/4 inch made all the difference. Nope, not going to fit. Bummer, bummer. I don't have many of these 12 by 12 by 6 boxes left, but that's what I have to go with. Packing peanuts to the rescue. Paper will add weight, and it will take a lot of it, and I don't have a lot of room to add a lot of weight, so I'm going with packing peanuts for the whole thing. All right, it's ready to close up and tape up. Get it in the mail. I don't even know what to say on this one. Would I buy a doorstop again to resell? If you only knew, I have over here on one of my shelves at least 2 other doorstops. It takes forever to sell a doorstop. Maybe people just don't need them anymore, right? You can put a doorstop on a door. I think someone probably bought this cowboy one so they could repaint it because it was in such rough condition. But I tell you, you repaint that thing, put a little clear coat on it, it would be absolutely gorgeous. I had it listed for so long, and I have others here, and I'm really, really, really close to just pulling them and donating them to one of our local thrift stores that benefits Humane Society. So yeah, no. Yeah, no, I'm not buying any more doorstops. Not doing it. And they're heavy. They need to be on the right shelf or on the floor. And no. Sold a photo frame. I think it's this one right here. I have it in my brass section because it's a metal frame. Vintage brass gold tone metal 8x10 picture single photo frame. Paid $1 for it, and it sold for full asking price at $24.95 plus ship. $41.14. Wow, you would think you could find these anywhere, right? But this one is going off to Minnesota from Tennessee. They may not have thrift stores near them. I mean, I find these things everywhere. They're always out in bins at garage sales too. This has kind of a red flocked backing, red velvet backing, I guess, kind of maroon. All right, let's get it packed. Normally I crisscross tape on the glass, but it looks like this time I put foam on here. I still might crisscross some painter's tape here just to add some more structure, and then I'll get some cardboard. So I have it taped, and as I said, a lot of times I put this directly on the glass, but I just put foam up to it. And I do fold under the end, so it makes it very easy for them to pick up and peel off. I'm measuring some cardboard to fit inside the frame itself. I just need to cut it. I've got my cutting board, my cardboard, 24-inch ruler, and my utility knife. And you can find a link for this below the video. You know, if you're on your phone or desktop, you can find my supplies below the video. Just look for the word more to open up the drop-down box. So I'm just going to cut this here and here and see how it fits. Let's see how I did. It's got this little curly spot here, but that's okay. I'm going to put this up against here and then wrap it in bubble wrap. Before I wrap it in bubble wrap, I'm going to stretch wrap the cardboard onto the frame. I stretch wrapped it really well, so now I'll just wrap it in bubble wrap. Got one layer on here. I'm debating on a second layer, but I'm going to take a measurement and find my box. Because a priority mail box would work better for this than any boxes I have, I went to eBay's shipping calculator and I calculated what I estimated for this, which is 3 pounds. And I calculated from our zip code to the buyer's zip code. And because I paid $13.10, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this to priority mail instead of Ground Advantage because I have enough money to cover it and it will be easier to pack. I'm going to use this box. It's almost 3 inches in depth. So I'm going to go ahead and add more bubble wrap to this, and then I'll put air pillows on each end and maybe some cardboard tubes on the sides for bumpers. So another wrap of bubble wrap this direction. I still can do one more layer of bubble wrap. It's still a little bit loose. So another layer this direction. And I'll probably fill in the center. I have it protected really well now. I have it taped really good. I will just see what I can do for the ends. I might just be using bubble wrap on the ends, not air pillows. Air pillows were too much at each end, so I'm just going to take some bubble wrap and fold it and push it in the end before I seal it up. It's all packed up. It's good. It's not shifting. I'm sure it's going to arrive just fine. Photo frames, vintage brass photo frames with glass. I see them everywhere. I started to say the word eye, and I got something in my eye. Okay, if it's watery or red, I got something in my eye. I think I got it out. As I started to say, I see vintage brass photo frames everywhere. Thrift stores, Restore, garage sales, tons of them at garage sales. In fact, there was a garage sale a couple years ago where she had a whole tote of these type of photo frames. And she said I could have them. Just take them. Please take them. I have one more listed. I think this is all that I have left. I might have others that I'm not thinking about right now. But would I buy these again to resell? Maybe this one sold because of the red velvet backing. Maybe. But still, as I'm looking here, it took 2 years. 2 years to sell. So here's the thing. If it wasn't for the glass, yes, sure, I'd pick them up because I could get them for probably free, as I said, or for a quarter. So yeah, if they didn't have the glass. But that glass requires extra care. Normally, as I showed you, I know I put the blue tape on the outside of the foam because I'd already stretch wrapped it, but typically I would put blue tape crossing all directions on the glass itself. And then you have to put cardboard over it to keep it from breaking. And then you got to pack it really well, and you need several inches surrounding it of large bubble wrap and at least a 3-inch box. And sometimes for a rectangular item, it's hard to find the right size box. And most of my boxes are square. Would I buy it again? Well, I told you I passed them up when they were free. So I guess there would have to be something really ornate about the frame, something very Victorian, very embellished. Would not just pick up plain ones. No, I wouldn't pick up the plain ones. But if it had a lot going for it, like little cherub babies or something, I might consider it. How's that? We are looking for staplers, 2 staplers.
Good morning.
Oh yes, good morning, hon. Good morning, everybody.
Got a couple of old vintage staplers. I think we had these listed separately, but they both sold together.
And we bought them, I think, together. Maybe not.
No, I think they were bought at different times.
Well, the thing is they sold, and it was a nice sale.
Yep, very nice.
All right, let me zero in on those. All righty, let's get them packed. We paid $2 each for these staplers. I guess this one came from Restore and this one came from a garage sale, even though I wrote the same thing down here for both. Anyway, got about $4 invested. One sold for $24.95, one for $29.95, came to $54.90. Oh my gosh, with shipping, $93.96. Where is this going to? Going to California. Figures. Anyway, they're Pilot. They're not in perfect condition at all, and we're wondering if they were sold to California for a movie set. Nice sale. I'm going to place each stapler in a bag just so that it can't get wet. I was going to start with paper, but decided to use a bag instead. Next, I'll wrap them in bubble wrap. These are shipping ground advantage, about 10 inches long. Just a little, really close to 6 inches wide. I'll grab a box. I just weighed these, and with a box, they're going to be 3 pounds. If they had sold separately, they would have been 2 pounds each. So sometimes what I do is I go to Google and just do eBay shipping calculator and look up and see what the cost difference is between ground advantage, which is what they wanted, versus priority. And the difference is only $4. And so since they paid $33 for shipping, and since I think this priority mailbox will work better than what I have, I'm going to upgrade this to priority mail. So remember to go back and check the eBay shipping calculator, put in the box measurements, the weight, your zip code, the buyer zip code, and recheck and see if sometimes it's worth upgrading to priority before you go to run the shipping label. I wouldn't want to do it then. Okay, so with that said, I just brightened it up here. When USPS stopped using regional rate box A and regional rate box B, I stocked up on them because I knew they were going to be used as regular priority. So I am considering using one of these boxes for shipping, and it will go just like regular priority. Let's see if they'll fit in here before I tape it up. Yeah, I think this box is going to work fine, the smaller one. And then I have less packing material I need to use. So I'll get this assembled. I always put a piece of tape on that corner where it's glued. And if you hear squeakiness when I'm working, my table squeaks, my floor mat squeaks, everything squeaks. Let's see about using this. I'm going to face these opposite directions. Just going to fill in with some scrap bubble wrap on each end. Thank you, label. It's good. But I pick up Pilot staplers again. We've sold 3 so far, 2 in this video, for the right price. $2 for these, that's fine. I wouldn't pay much more than that, but sure, I would pick these up again based upon condition, based upon checking eBay current active and sold listings. Sure, I'd pick these up again. Oops, I shook the table, sorry about that. But yes, I'd pick them up again. This is most definitely an odd item for us to sell. Eaton Fuller transmission part. We were in Goodwill and somebody said, oh, those things cost a lot of money, but I work at a shop and I can't buy that and sell it. So yeah, I paid $3.99 at Goodwill. Eaton Fuller transmission part, main shift gear. It's new but open box, $49.95 plus ship. Supposedly it's worth about $100, but it didn't sell at $100, so I lowered the price. Almost 9 pounds by the time I box it 10. So I'm using one of 2 flat rate boxes, either a medium, I'll have to check it, or a large flat rate box. Flat rate boxes go up to 70 pounds. It's going to be the large flat rate box that it fits in with some packing peanuts. Now really, on this one, would I buy another Eaton Fuller transmission part main shaft gear? Would I buy that again? New in box? Just the thought of ever finding one of these again is funny to me. No, I don't think I'll ever find one again. And it was really heavy. So moving it around in the garage to get to other things around it, no. I think it's 0 probability that I would find one again, especially 0 probability that it would be new in box. So no. I think that's a no. It's just not going to happen. In our Avante attic store, I sold these Jello molds or tins, 35 of them. You could call them little bunt pans too. 35 count aluminum fluted swirl small cake mold, sold on offer for $25 plus ship. What did I say about the fish molds? Would I buy them again? Well, I actually have had these little bunt pans in my personal stash for years. Remember I said I always thought I'd craft with them. I could just see some cute little Christmas things made with them. Would I buy them again? I've passed them up several times. I think Mark kind of shamed me, I might say, into not buying any more. But maybe I need to pull out the banker box in the garage and show him that we've sold quite a few. Or maybe I'll find out that there's more left than I remember. Next sale. Sold some brass. It's in the back. These reindeer have to go. You gotta go, because they're back there. The lids are down inside. I have to insert a photo. Got a set of 2 made in India brass lidded containers. Great for vanity or bathroom storage. Not sure what I paid, but sold for asking price of $29.95 plus ship. Must be going to California. Nope, going to Arizona. Almost as far from Tennessee. This is what they look like. Little, looks like an acorn on top, almost. Here's the made in India decorative crafts. Just got to get them packed up and in the mail. 2-piece set, Brass little containers, great for bathroom or vanity with lid. Would I buy these again to resell? Did you see the date that I listed them? Did I say it? I'm not sure if I said it, but it was there in the sale that I showed you. Listed since August 30th of 2021. No, listed since August 30th of 2020. I can't even get that right. Would I buy those again to resell? No. It obviously was a bad buy when I bought it because it took forever to find the right buyer, and they weren't in that great of condition anyway. But $29.95, can't complain with that. But we want to move merch. We've been going through our inventory and pulling things that have been listed for a very long time and donating them. And I'm going to pull some more items over here on my end wall with my glass that are large items, larger dishes and things that I don't want to ship them. Just not worth the time and hassle. And sure, when I recheck comps, which I will do, I'm sure there's a good reason why it hasn't sold. So yeah, keep going through, letting go of things and being extremely selective with what we bring in to list. We had this sale on eBay. It's a large wall pocket, kind of a bronze color. I'll have to insert a photo here. Quite heavy too. Paid $3 for it at our restore. So I'm going by the books and I look at this end wall here and find this. It's brass. It's a wall planter. It's $3 and nicely weighted. Well, it's $12.99, so I'm going to get that. And it sold on offer for $24 plus ship. I'm mailing it in an eBay box that's 16 by 12 by 8. Wall pocket planter. I had it listed for 2 years. Sold it for $24. Would I buy it again? I have sold several wall pockets, brass wall pockets. This one wasn't brass, it was metal. But we have sold some. I guess it's based upon the price, the style, and if it will fit in my largest box that I like to use of 16, 12 by 8. That's an eBay box. I get it with our quarterly coupon. I would say it's a maybe. I do love Google Lens to take a quick photo, and then I click on the link to eBay, and that's where I finish my search. So it depends. Just depends on the planter and how much I paid and what it's currently going for. This is a very unusual sale. I would consider this odd. It's an iron stand, a probably vintage to antique iron stand. Put up that and it holds your iron like this. I paid $1 at Restore and it sold on offer for $20 plus ship. I paid only $1 for this antique iron, doesn't sound right. Iron, it doesn't sound right. I don't know what's up with me today. Iron rest stand. Would I buy it again? I doubt I'll find another one. I paid $1 for it. Oh, it was listed for 3 years. No, wouldn't buy it again. The iron. I don't know, it just doesn't sound right. I've had trouble with my R's and my L's since I was a little girl. Yep. So it's been a lot for me to be on YouTube when I can't even pronounce some things. Just saying. We only paid $12 for this set of Revereware, and it was in pretty good condition, but Mark still cleaned everything really well. Thank you, hon. As I said, he's out running errands right now. Paid $12, sold for $139.95. I know they can have value. It took 2 years for them to sell at that price. They need to be in good condition. Probably need cleaned to get the most money out of them. They take up a little bit of room, although I had pre-packed them, so that helped. I don't know. Normally I don't find a whole set like that, and I'm not even sure it was a complete set. I guess I'll say this. It's not on our radar, okay? We're not out looking for it. How's that? Because it almost always needs a good cleaning. Nice sale, though. We sold the last 2 of our Calphalon pans. My last brass and metal video, I showed you the larger stock pots that we sold. Got $11 into these two pieces, sold them for $60. Took about a year to sell. And, you know, pots and pans have handles, which means you need the right size box and you don't want them to go oversized and have to deal with that. I'm not getting into all the details about oversized, but it can be $4 or so and up. Again, nice sale, but not on our radar. And they take up a fair amount of room to store, depending on how much storage you have. We have a lot of storage. We have this eBay room and our garage. I'd say not on our radar. That's the best I can say. But happy for the sale. The lady that bought this little vanity jar with brass lid also bought a pair of earrings that she asked me to put inside of it. I don't remember what I paid, but probably not very much, probably $1 or $2. And it sold for $20, so the profit was good. In fact, the profit's been very good on many of the things that I showed you in this video. But it's just not what we're looking for these days. And even though we're looking for profitable items, unique items, have you been to a thrift store lately? You know, it's hard. It's a lot harder. In fact, we used to find some decent things at our Goodwill store. At least a few. We always had to work hard at it, but they always miss things. But they have a processing center now. If the trained staff at our local Goodwill store reviews it and thinks it might have just a hint of value, it goes to the processing center. And there it gets researched and then photographed and listed on their store on eBay or their own independent Goodwill site. And it's just through my other channel, Vintage Vicky. If you don't know about Vintage Vicky, that's where I show now behind the scenes where we do some thrifting and going to garage sales and things. So check that out. That's where I've moved those type of videos. This channel now is simply about what sold and when I have video available, how I packed it. What I'm trying to say here, it's getting harder. It's getting harder to find things to resell. So for that reason, we're glad we have a lot of inventory. We have over 1,800 items in our eBay store, Avante-Avenue, and then we have Avante-Attic, which we have a few things. I don't really work that store very much. And add to it that we should be downsizing at our age, downsizing with inventory. We're just glad to keep selling it. And in Sell Similar, refresh the listing, tweak the prices, recheck comps, active and sold, and decide if it's even worth keeping it listed or just donate it. That's kind of where we are right now in going through things. You know, we like to say, woohoo, when we have a sale. If Mark's upstairs and I'm down here and my phone cha-chings, we're like, woohoo. For every sale these days, we woohoo. It doesn't matter if it's a $15 sale or a $50 sale. We're so appreciative of any sale that we can make. So be very careful with what you buy these days. Do your homework, you know, research, check the active sold comps, high to low, low to high, and don't be so quick to buy things just because they're cute or you've never seen it before. Research it, okay? That's the takeaway, research it. Because what's the point of having it listed on eBay if it's just going to sit there for 2 or 3 years or longer before it sells? That's the reality of it, right? Oh gosh. I hope you enjoyed today's What Sold video. I inserted whatever packing video clips I had. I inserted some B-roll. That's what they call it, B-roll, from going to some of the stores. That's going to be thinning out on each video because I honestly don't know what I have in my video clips. I have no idea. I didn't know until I sat down to edit this what I had available for you. But still, I'll be putting out a video or two a month to show you some of what sold. And I just happened to have enough this time to put together a brass and metal video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these kind of videos, I do hope you subscribe, and I appreciate a thumbs up, at least for my effort. And thanks for watching. I'm Vicki, and Mark and I will see you soon.